I washed my hair today, Lisa.
Good morning, Jen. She's
Good
smelling your
morning.
hair.
I am. It smells good. I
Good.
loved it.
And on to personal hygiene. Good morning, everybody. I'm Lisa Wickman.
I'm Jennifer Cotis. Do you know that we got one of the greatest compliments ever from my friend Sally Berger, who I used to work with her husband at Rock Bottom, like 15 years ago. She told me yesterday that she absolutely adores the name The Morning Muffin Show.
I love it.
And she's like, it's such a great name. And I was like, oh, thanks.
Well, speaking of the morning muffin, this is the morning muffin.
This is the Morning Muffin Show, your morning carbo load of real estate.
And we are the Wickman Real Estate Group with EXP in Minneapolis. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Okay, today I did not make a banner because I was so busy reading about stuff. I love it. Okay, hold on.
But today is Town Hall Tuesday, where we typically will talk about two different cities. And today I'm going to be talking about Blaine, and Jen is going to be talking about Woodbury. And I have some interesting information that you're going to love.
Tell me everything.
Well, you want me to go first? First, I'm going to do just some stats. And then I have to go to my link, which I did not share with you. But okay, so Woodbury currently has about 66,000 residents, which is a really big city outside of.
You said Woodbury. I thought you were doing Blaine.
Well, I lied and I said I'm doing Blaine because I am doing Blaine. I just misspoke. So I don't know why I said Woodbury, but Blaine has 66,000 residents. And they have, it's really pretty green up there. They've got 66 parks and hundreds of miles of trails. And
awesome up there.
Which is awesome. And if we want to talk about the housing market briefly, and we're talking briefly, the median sales price is $307,000, which is higher than the Minneapolis area in general, but their average sales price is $336,000. There is a ton of new construction up there too. The town is just growing hand over fist, really. And I kind of was diving into the history and came across some information about the person who first settled there, and I'm going to talk about that. But one of their claims to fame is their national sports center. And I knew that kids from all over the world would come and play soccer, but I had no idea how big the sports center is. So they have a golf course. They have an artificial turf field. They have 50 soccer fields there. Did you know that? I mean, 50.
I just know they have like a really, really, really big Christian festival with like all like the famous Christian rock bands up there every year.
Yeah. Okay. So they have an 8-sheet ice arena, and then they have an expo center and this convention facility, which is where you said these Christian rock bands are coming.
Yeah, they come every year.
They come every year. So they house a lot of stuff. But so I came across the story of a gentleman who was the first settler in Blaine. And this is a great story considering that it is Black History Month, because he was a former slave. I'm going to tell his story. I'm going to read a little bit here. So his name was Greenberry Chambers, and they call him Green. He was a slave from Kentucky, and he had a wife. Her name was Charlotte, and they called her Lottie. And they had 5 children, but they were all scattered among various slave owners, which is super sad. Just heartbreaking. But during the Civil War, Kentucky was a Union state and formed the regiment of the U.S. Colored Troops. And in 1864, he escaped from his owner. And after he hid in the woods, he was enlisted as a private in Company H of the 115th U.S. Colored Infantry. And his owner received a $100 bounty and paid to an enlistee and $300 in compensation for his value. So in 1864, he was injured when he was helping erect a stockade in Fort Cynthia, Kentucky. and he ended up working as a supervisor cook until the end of the war. So in 1865, he was discharged from the army. He went in search for his children and only found 3 of them. And after some difficulty, those children were also released from their master, and they don't know what happened to his 2 other children. So he found life very difficult in Kentucky because the state refused to ratify the 13th Amendment abolishing slavery. So in September of 1865, they took their children and they traveled by steamboat up the Mississippi to Minnesota. So he was the very first settler in Blaine, and he purchased a farm in Anoka County, and it was profitable, but it was foreclosed on in 1877 because he owed a debt of $677.70. Then they resettled on another farm, they say most likely in southeastern Blaine, and he became a constable on the Blaine Township Board of Supervisors from 1878 to 1881, and a road overseer in 1882. And then because African American men were granted the right to vote in 1870, and in 1881 it shows both he and his son were registered as electoral register. Annual electoral register lists him and his son as voters in 1881. And then they eventually moved to St. Paul, and he died of old age in 1889. And I just think that that is the coolest story. I had to share that.
That is a great story, and it's so serendipitous that it's Black History Month, and people need to know these things. I love these stories.
Yeah, so I had to share that, and that's all I've got on Blaine. But it made me really emotional reading it this morning, and I still feel a little emotional about that. But
you said last night you were a little on the crabby side, so maybe you had like a little emotional hangover, and then this story just kind of like went in and just.
I did tell Jen, I'm like, I'm really crabby. I'm not crabby anymore.
No. You slept it off. So. Well, I love that. Blaine, the thing I love about Blaine is that it does have a wide diversity of housing stock along with its park systems. It has tons of manufactured homes, and they have some really nice manufactured home neighborhoods, like really nice. They have like a airplane / like a airport, but I think it's like a training facility because you always see like fun stuff in the air there. They have a lot of strip malls. It's really interconnected. But they have a lot of new housing as well. But they have a lot of like housing that you can tell it's really been built up on. Like there's an older part of Blaine. There's like 60s, 70s. And as you travel through, you get to actually like see the layers of Blaine the onion, as it were, as it started to grow. And then they have Bunker Hill Park up there.
That's in Coon Rapids?
Is it in Coon? It's like right on the border.
Yeah, but Bunker Hill is in Coon Rapids. Yes.
Yeah, I love that area. It's so much fun. But there is that other park there. What am I thinking of?
I don't know, but there's a lot of parks, and I probably have some of that information on here. But I'm not going to search for it while we're on this show.
No, I used to drive up to Blaine because my favorite daycare lady was up there. And I mean, I would drive like an hour to go to this woman. She was amazing. And then she retired.
I know. I remember that. It's a good community.
Yes. So I'm going to talk about a much newer city.
Much newer.
And if you guys are interested in any of the housing stock in there, or you're thinking about buying or selling a home yourself, don't forget that we are real estate agents. And the reason why we talk about these homes is because we happen to sell a lot of houses in these towns. We have Woodbury, Minnesota, which has a population of 72,000. And this is like census data, maybe 2019. I know that the US Census website is actually down. It's under construction right now. I know that there was going to be some changes according to some of the orders that have been passed through Congress recently. But the median age there is 37.1, which I thought was really interesting. It's basically about the same as the entire Minneapolis, St. Paul, Bloomington area. And it's actually a little less than Minnesota in total, which is about 38.4. So
there's a lot of families, of families in Woodbury.
Yeah, it's according to the census data, it's 50% female. You know, there is a pretty big Asian community in Woodbury. And I will put all this censusreporter.org profile in there. We have a pretty good per capita income, but the median household income there is 116,517. So it is
that's high.
It is, and it only has a 5.4% below poverty line. So which I think is about 2/3 of the rate that Minneapolis, St. Paul actually is, and about 3/5 the rate of the entire Minnesota, which is like 9%. So
I'm guessing that that's because housing is high there.
It's ridiculously
really.
Okay, so I have to say that I was, you know me, I try to look for where in city codes the disparity is. But I think that Woodbury just started out as a more pricey area. They are trying to make it more diverse. The thing that I like to see about cities is I like to see not only an economics council, but an ethics council. And they're lacking the ethics council. They have the economic council there, but it's like you got the numbers, but you need the people. Like you have to figure out where everything meshes together. Because there's skill and luck, right? But anyway, so as I was looking through it, I couldn't find like any real rules, like a minimum house size or anything. They had pretty good building codes and stuff. I know I have a copy of their 2040 plan, which they plan on putting in more multi-family units, like apartment complexes and things like that. They didn't particularly say they wanted low-income housing, but the gold line, the Metro Gold Line, is coming up there. And so they do want to put in, so they do want to put in some apartments and some high rises and some senior living in and around there. Okay. I do think that the history here is it was originally named Red Rock after a sacred stone supposedly painted by a famous Dakota chief, Little Crow. And the town was renamed in 1859 when they discover another Red Rock township already in Minnesota.
Oh,
as it happens, they don't have the internet there, so they can't double check everything. And Woodbury was named after Judge Levi Woodbury of New Hampshire, a friend of the first town board chairman.
That's really weird that it was named after somebody who doesn't even live here. How strange.
Yeah, isn't it? Okay, so the first settlers came to Woodbury in 1844. Most of the area's early settlers migrated from eastern states and from Germany. The immigrants also came from Ireland, Sweden, Switzerland, Scotland, and Denmark. And over the years, the people of Woodbury have contributed in many ways to the rich heritage the city enjoys today. It's so blah. It's not a fun story like yours. And it's just so,
okay. It is what it is, right?
It is. I do want to share my screen because so one of the things as like someone that likes to think about the economics, right, and social injustice, one of the things that drives me insane is city codes. And these are common code violations. Can you see this? This is
Yeah.
literally a picture of one house that has a lot of violations and the other house. So a lawnmower out in the front. Dandelions, trash cans, toys, jungle gyms. This is a house that's fined, and this is a house that's code compliant. Like, do you see how some things might be a little racially disparative? Like I just, not that it's like even just like a working mom, like kids let kids be. And also I think grass is a social construct, but that's me. Like you don't need grass. Like it should be a vegetable garden. Like if we gardened our front yards, like we took care of our grass, there would be nobody going hungry, right? Anyway. So elderly people go to jail for not being able to pay fines, trying to mow their lawn. You know, there's just some things that happen in society.
Well, let's talk about the things that were against the rules. Having your garbage out, having toys in the yard, having your lawnmower out. I believe that you should put your lawnmower in your, it's like,
you don't want it to rust.
You don't want, it's, yeah. And what was the other thing? And having weeds in your yard, And I was telling Jen before that, I had several neighbors in my old neighborhood that would have little signs in their yard that say, please excuse the weeds. We're feeding the bees because our honeybees they're dying off and we need weeds to keep them plentiful. Although I would say I do like a nice yard. I also said it's really nice to go barefoot in your grass and walk through the grass.
Right. I'm just one of these people that think that, there's a park, there's a place to have grass and stuff like that. I guess maybe it was the way I grew up with my grandma. I think I told you, she had a garden. She planted fruits and vegetables and, she had a family to feed, and that's what her yard was for. That's what dirt is for. And when you not only are you polluting the earth trying to take care of grass by, shuffling around seeds that don't belong in areas, droughts in water, pesticides, fertilizers, chemical fertilizers. It's pollution. It's not necessary. And it's what it's doing is it's causing a lot of like unusable space, unusable water, anyway. But I like Woodbury. Woodbury is really close to me. It's a great place to shop. It has nothing but a bunch of chain stores.
Yes, it does.
It's like strip mall after strip mall after strip mall. And city planners, dear God, city planners. They're the ones that have like the parking lots that have like stop signs and one ways and interconnected strip malls that like you will get lost in these places.
Massive conglomerates of shopping. Like Maple Grove.
Yeah. Maple Grove. I think is good. They don't have as many roundabouts as Woodbury does. They love their roundabouts.
No, they don't have roundabouts.
I don't mind them, but there's like some stop signs and one ways, big massive parking lots. Do you know that the most consumed product on earth is concrete?
No, I did not know that.
And the second most is sand, because they need sand to make glass and concrete. And they often riverbed sand, because desert sand isn't the right shape and consistency. So they have to take it from riverbeds.
You are full of fun facts, Jim.
That's my parking lot knowledge for today. Ta-da! There's all this parking in Woodbury and nothing downtown. So if you guys want to go shopping, come out to the suburbs is what they're trying to say. We've got free parking.
There you go.
Okay, you guys, tomorrow is Weekend Wednesday. Let me pull out my big Macanini binder for you guys. upside down.
If anybody is interested in moving to Blaine or Woodbury, please let us know. They're both great communities.
They are. Housing is more affordable in Blaine.
Much more affordable in Blaine.
It is. Okay. If you like golfing though, Woodbury's the place. Okay, tomorrow. Ooh, trains in Minnesota.
Oh, that'll be good.
It'll be great. Who doesn't like trains?
You're gonna have to take Max on a train ride.
We actually looked it up. So I used to take the Empire Builder, which is like the big Amtrak train that goes out to Seattle from here. It actually goes like from all the way from one side to the other. And I used to take it when I was a teenager back home to Seattle, and it was 27 hours. It has now added, it's now a 40-hour trip. And I was like, no, thank you.
That's we'll be talking about trains tomorrow. So you all have a great day. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.